Welcome, divine ones. They tried to silence you, to snuff out your light, but the louder they pushed you into the shadows, the stronger your resolve became. In the stillness, your voice grew, not weaker, but sharper. And now it's roaring back, like thunder amplified by the heavens themselves. Did you know the sound of thunder can echo for miles, long after the storm has vanished from sight? That's how your voice is about to resonate. Unstoppable, undeniable, and unforgettable. They thought they had buried you, erased you, reduced you to nothing more than a whisper in the void. But silence was never your surrender. It was your sanctuary, your strategy, your rebirth. And here's the twist they never saw coming. While they schemed to diminish you, God was crafting your comeback. Not with soft words or subtlety, but with a divine megaphone that will leave their pride trembling and their plans in ruins. They wanted you quiet? Well, irony had other plans, and it's delivering your voice with earth-shaking force. Chosen ones, the time for permission is over. This is your stage, your moment, your declaration. Fasten your seatbelts, because your voice isn't just coming back, it's rewriting the narrative. Let's make them listen. Number 1. God's refinement in the shadows. While they worked to quiet you, God was working to refine you. They thought they were erasing you, but in reality, they placed you into the hands of the ultimate creator. In the shadows, as the world believed you had faded away, God was crafting something extraordinary. You weren't forgotten. You were being perfected. Every insult, every rejection, every attempt to shut you out became the fuel for your transformation. Like gold purified in fire, the challenges burned away what didn't serve you, leaving a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and unshakable. God wasn't merely protecting you, He was amplifying you. What they saw as chaos, He used as the foundation for your rise. They mistook your silence for defeat, but in the stillness, God was sharpening your voice into a weapon of truth. Every moment of quiet wasn't a concession, it was preparation. While they celebrated your supposed absence, God was equipping you for a return they could never predict. Now, those who sought to erase you must witness your transformation. The very trials designed to break you have fortified you. God allowed you to endure the shadows so that when you step into the light, no one can stand in your way. They thought they had ended you, but all they did was grant God the time to mold you into an unstoppable force. Now, you're not just speaking, you're roaring, and this time the world will hear you, whether they're ready or not. Number 2, the silence that became a roar. They thought silencing you would erase your presence. With whispers, schemes, and conspiracies, they celebrated your stillness as their triumph. But what they didn't understand was that your silence wasn't surrender. It was preparation. In the quiet, your voice was tempered like steel in fire, growing sharper, stronger, and more unyielding. While they believed they had won, you were evolving into something beyond their imagination. Silence doesn't diminish what's important. It amplifies it. When forced into retreat, you found clarity, not just in what needed to be spoken, but in how to deliver it. Your voice didn't vanish. It transformed into a force of resilience and truth. Now it's back, piercing through the distractions and noise they tried to use to drown you out. What they failed to realize was that their attempts to erase you only intensified your presence. Today, your words don't just reach people. They resonate deep within, leaving an indelible mark. They wanted to bury your truth, but in doing so, they unknowingly made it unstoppable. The silence they imposed has roared back with a power they cannot escape. What they feared most has come to life. Your voice, unshakable and undeniable. Every word you speak now carries a weight they cannot ignore, a strength they cannot combat, and a power they can never silence again. Let them face the echoes of what they tried to destroy, for your voice has become more than sound. It's a reckoning. Number 3, a voice that carries divine weight. Your voice isn't just returning. It's carrying a divine force that cannot be ignored. This isn't about shouting louder or overpowering others. It's about the undeniable authority behind every word you speak. Each syllable now resonates with a power that shifts the atmosphere, leaving an impact that people might not fully understand, but can't help but feel. It's truth wrapped in authority, cutting through fear, lies, and doubt. When they tried to silence you, they underestimated what God was doing. Your voice is no longer just your own. It has become an instrument of divine purpose. It delivers a message that cannot be dismissed, not because of its volume, but because of its authenticity. That's what they feared most. Not merely the sound of your voice, but the undeniable truth it carries. There's a reason people are drawn to listen. When you speak now, your voice resonates with something eternal, something that challenges false narratives, uncovers manipulation, and shines light into the darkest corners. This isn't just about being heard, it's about exposing what has been hidden for far too long. They wanted you to vanish because they knew your voice was a threat to their control. But instead of erasing you, their efforts have only amplified your impact. Truth has a way of rising, and now it's surging through you like a tidal wave. What they feared most is happening. You're speaking, and they cannot stop you. This isn't about revenge. It's about purpose. Your voice has become a vessel for something far greater than yourself. And the best part? It's not just louder. It's undeniable. It pierces through their defenses, shatters their illusions, and leaves them no choice but to confront the truth they worked so hard to bury. Number 4. The megaphone amplifies the frequency of destiny. The megaphone God is placing in your hands isn't about noise. It's about precision. It's not meant to create chaos, but to carry your message with clarity and purpose to places and people you never imagined. This isn't about shouting over the crowd or demanding attention. It's about divine amplification, ensuring your voice reaches the exact hearts and minds it was destined to impact. The barriers that once held you back, cultural, social, or even personal, are crumbling. Your voice will now flow into spaces where it was once silenced, dismissed, or rejected. People who never paid attention before will feel an undeniable pull to listen. Not because you're louder, but because your words now vibrate with an energy that penetrates deeply, bypassing egos and defenses to touch the very essence of their souls. What's remarkable is that this isn't something you orchestrated. It's destiny in action. The megaphone isn't just a tool. It's a divine instrument crafted to send your truth farther than any human effort ever could. Your message isn't confined to those nearby. It's meant for those you've never met, for lives that will transform the moment they hear your words. Even in spaces that once resisted your presence, your voice will now break through. It will awaken minds that were once closed, shift perspectives that seemed immovable, and sow seeds of transformation where hostility once reigned. This isn't just communication, it's liberation. With the megaphone of destiny amplifying your voice, you're no longer bound by limitations. Your words will echo across borders, shattering chains and unlocking doors that once seemed permanently sealed. This is your time to unleash a message that transforms, liberates, and leaves a lasting impact on the world. Number 5. Turning opposition into testimony. Every attempt to silence you has achieved the opposite. It has built your testimony. What they intended to harm you has become the foundation of your story, and the louder their opposition, the more unshakable your resilience becomes. They thought their attacks would break you, but all they did was give you undeniable proof of your strength. Their rejection wasn't your end. It was your validation, affirming the power of your message and the truth in your voice. If what you had to say wasn't important, why would they fight so hard to silence it? Their resistance became the clearest evidence of your significance. People notice when someone is under attack, and with that notice comes curiosity. Why were they so threatened by you? Why did they need you gone? That curiosity is what will draw others to your story. Their hate has become your spotlight, and the harder they tried to destroy you, the brighter your testimony now shines. Every insult, every obstacle, every attempt to block you has transformed into evidence of your triumph. Your story is no longer just about you. It's a testament to what resilience and faith can achieve in the face of adversity. And here's the truth: they'll hate the most. Their opposition has become the very reason people are listening to you now. Their attacks didn't silence you. They amplified your message. What they meant to chain you has set you free. Every wound they inflicted has healed into a scar that tells a story of endurance, courage, and unshakable faith. Your scars will inspire others, awaken minds, and solidify the unstoppable power of your voice. Their hatred is no longer your burden. It's your testimony. And now, it's your time to rise. Number 6. The curse of dismissing the chosen. When they dismissed you, they believed they were safeguarding their own power, their own relevance. They thought erasing your voice would amplify their own, as if silencing you would secure their position. But in their arrogance, they overlooked a profound truth. What they sought to destroy only grew stronger in their absence. By pushing you aside, they cursed themselves with irrelevance. Their attempts to bury you were futile because you weren't just any voice. You were chosen. Every effort to erase you became part of the stage being built for your inevitable rise. Their dismissal, denial, and rejection didn't crush you. It elevated you. The very force they tried to use to silence you has become the momentum behind your resurgence. They underestimated the divine timing of your return. While they rested in their arrogance, you evolved. While they celebrated your absence, you prepared. Now, their failure to recognize your worth has become the backdrop of your triumph. Their inability to see your value has only magnified the undeniable power of your resurgence. Here's the irony. The energy they spent trying to erase you has made you unforgettable. They cursed themselves to be overshadowed by the presence they sought to eliminate. Now, they're forced to watch as your once dismissed voice commands attention. Their denial of you has become the very reason others now embrace you. This isn't just a comeback, it's a revelation. You've been elevated, not in spite of their opposition, but because of it. Their irrelevance isn't just a consequence. It's the result of their inability to recognize the unstoppable, undeniable purpose of the chosen. Number 7. You're speaking to the wounded and the warriors. Your voice was never meant for everyone. It's not about pleasing the masses or winning over the crowd. It's a lifeline for those who understand the sting of being overlooked, underestimated, or broken. These are the people who carry silent battles, who have been cast aside by the world, just as you once were. They don't need noise. They need truth. They need to hear from someone who has walked through the fire and emerged stronger. When you speak, it's not pity you offer, it's understanding. You resonate with the wounded because you know their pain. You've felt the sting of rejection, the weight of being ignored, and the fight to keep going. Your words carry the authority of someone who has lived through it and survived. To the wounded, your voice is proof that their brokenness isn't an end. It's the beginning of something greater. But your voice doesn't stop there. It's also a call to the warriors, the ones who have been waiting in the shadows, unsure of when or how to rise. They've been longing for permission to step into their power, and your voice delivers that. You're not telling them what to do. You're reminding them of who they already are. Your megaphone isn't just a tool for your message. It's a rallying cry. It unites the broken and the bold, creating a force that cannot be ignored. You're not just speaking. You're awakening something deep in others. You're reminding the wounded that healing is possible and showing the warriors that it's time to stand together. This isn't just a voice, it's a movement. The wounded will find strength, the warriors will rise, and together they will become unstoppable. And you will be the spark that ignites it all. Number 8. God's echoes. Resonate beyond the earthly realm. Your voice now carries a power that transcends the physical world. It's not just for earthly ears. It's reaching into unseen dimensions, shaking what was once unshakable. This isn't about being louder or more noticed. It's about wielding a force that disrupts spiritual realms. The words you speak are no longer yours alone. They are echoes of divine purpose, amplified by heaven itself. What the world tried to suppress, heaven has chosen to amplify. Their attempts to silence you didn't just fail, they backfired. In their effort to diminish your presence, they triggered something far greater, a ripple effect in the spiritual realm. Now, every word you speak carries undeniable weight, breaking through strongholds once thought immovable. Fear, doubt, and oppression are crumbling because your voice, aligned with God's purpose, has become a weapon of truth. Enemies, both seen and unseen, are scattered and confused by the resonance of your message. They can no longer predict your actions or manipulate your path because your voice isn't guided by earthly logic. It's driven by divine strategy. What they underestimated has become a force they can neither contain nor comprehend. But this isn't just about tearing down, it's about restoring. Your voice is realigning destinies that have strayed, calling people back to their true purpose. It's more than a sound, it's a divine summons, a frequency that awakens hearts, shifts atmospheres, and ushers in change. God's echoes through you are a testament that no earthly power can suppress what heaven has ordained. Your voice moves beyond the limits of the natural world, resonating with a purpose so profound that it's transforming not only the earth, but realms far beyond. Number 9. The paradox of being unstoppable. Your power doesn't come from the noise you make, but from the undeniable truth you carry. It's not about being the loudest or the most aggressive. It's about the quiet certainty that your message is real. God has transformed your voice into a force of nature, a paradox that is both soft enough to slip past defenses and powerful enough to shatter the strongest walls. Why our words are like a gentle storm, calm on the surface, but beneath there's an unstoppable force that demands attention. It's the subtlety of your presence that makes people pause and rethink everything they thought they knew. They may not hear you coming, but once you speak, the weight of your words is inescapable. Your message doesn't need to be shouted. Its authenticity reverberates louder than any noise. There's a piercing quality to your voice that cuts through the world's distractions, reaching straight to the heart. You don't need forceful words to create change. Calm and measured, your voice dismantles illusions and preconceptions with undeniable truth. You're not here to convince, you're here to reveal. In that revelation, people are left changed, stirred, and awakened. It's not about overpowering the world. It's about quietly dismantling the lies and misconceptions that have held people captive. Your strength lies in the calm certainty of your truth. God has equipped you with a voice that doesn't need to scream to shift the atmosphere. It only needs to speak, and everything changes. Number 10. Your voice is the trumpet of transformation. This isn't about revenge or validation, it's about purpose. Your voice has become far more than an echo of past pain or frustration. It is a divine trumpet, a clarion call to awaken those trapped in cycles of ignorance and self-doubt. When you speak now, it's not just for yourself. It's a summons for others to rise, reclaim their power, and step into their truth. For too long, many have been conditioned to stay silent, to shrink into molds that never truly fit them. But your voice breaks those chains. It doesn't just carry words, it carries power. The power to cut through complacency, to illuminate hidden paths, and to inspire transformation. Your voice resonates not just in the ears of others, but in their very spirits. It stirs something deep within, awakening a hunger for truth, freedom, and their own voice. This is more than just speaking, it's leading. Your words guide others gently yet powerfully toward a new way of being, helping them find their own path, their own purpose. The divine trumpet you carry is more than a tool for your journey. It's a catalyst for collective awakening. Each word you speak shatters the illusion of silence that has kept others trapped. The more you speak, the more courage others find to raise their voices too. Your transformation isn't just yours. It's the spark that ignites a wave of transformation in others. You're not just speaking, you're creating a movement that will echo far beyond your own reach. Number 11. The boomerang effect of suppression. They believed that by silencing you, they could strip you of your power. They thought suppressing your voice would break you. But what they failed to understand is that suppression always boomerangs. The energy they poured into holding you down is now ricocheting back, and instead of destroying you, it's unraveling them. Their attempts to silence you only gave your voice more strength, clarity, and purpose. As they worked to suppress you, they unknowingly planted the seeds of their own exposure. The effort they used to diminish you has backfired, leaving them defenseless as your truth rises. What they tried to block has become unstoppable. Your voice, once muffled, now echoes with undeniable power, reverberating far beyond their reach. They thought they were erasing you, but instead, they've become part of your story, a story of resistance that fueled your rise. While they struggle, tangled in the consequences of their actions, you stand untouched. Your voice has grown louder, clearer, and more unstoppable with every attempt to silence it. What they saw as victory has become their downfall, and their efforts have only elevated you. This isn't just karma. It's divine realignment. What was meant to diminish you has revealed the unstoppable power of your voice. Now, they're the ones exposed, scrambling while you rise, unshaken and louder than ever. You are not just surviving their suppression, you are thriving because of it. Number 12. The voice they feared was prophetic. All along. The reason they worked so hard to silence you wasn't because you were just a threat. It was because your voice carried a prophecy they feared. They recognized, even before you did, that your words weren't mere opinions or complaints. They were divine declarations of truth, freedom, and awakening. Every time you spoke, you chipped away at the false narratives they had spent years constructing. Your voice didn't just shake the surface, it rattled the very foundations of their dominance. What terrified them most wasn't your success. It was the possibility that you might awaken others. You weren't just speaking for your own liberation. You were calling forth a generation to rise and reject the chains of control they had crafted. They knew that if they couldn't suppress your voice, they would lose their grip on the minds and hearts of those who heard it. Your words carried the power to spark a shift so massive it would dismantle their reign, and they feared it because they couldn't stop it. Their efforts to silence you were never about defeating you. They were about containing the ripple effect they knew your voice would unleash. But every attempt to suppress you only amplified your message. The prophecy they feared is now unfolding, and the voice they tried to bury is dismantling their empire of lies. What they never understood was that your voice wasn't just a tool for expression. It was the force of your destiny. Every rejection, every obstacle, every attempt to shut you down only fueled your rise. Now, your voice has become a trumpet of transformation, echoing far beyond the borders they tried to impose. They thought they could bury you, but they were only planting the seeds for something far greater. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. The harder they tried to extinguish your light, the brighter it burns. With every word you speak, you're creating a ripple effect that renders them powerless. So let them watch. Let them witness the unstoppable power of your return. What they feared most, the voice they tried to silence, is the very one that will change the world. Thank you for joining me here on Wisdom Warrior, where together we uncover truths, awaken our inner strength, and rise above the noise. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected to this journey of enlightenment and empowerment. Remember, your voice matters, your truth is powerful, and your purpose is divine. Until next time, keep standing tall, keep seeking wisdom, and never stop being the warrior this world needs. See you soon. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What angel number has been showing up in your life lately? Drop it in the comments below and share how it's been guiding you on your journey. Remember, these numbers are no coincidence. They're messages meant just for you. Let's decode them together.